All right, heal the hate. Here we go. Wow, what an intense week this has been. And I'm just going to turn it over to Ariel to talk and share kind of what you've been through with the San Jose shooting and being right next to all of that, and what all's come up for you. And then we'll just kind of stay in that genre today.
Mm, mm. Yeah, Dr. Beth, it was a crazy day yesterday, and I guess everybody saw it in the news. I definitely knew about it because well, because we saw it in the news, but there was a terrible stench in the air, and when I was taking the dogs out, they wouldn't go outside. There was a plastic burning smell that was really fear-inducing. Um, really trauma inducing. Yeah, it just, that danger, sort of on edge feeling. And then we found out, of course, that the individual blew up his house and then went to, I guess, his workplace and opened fire upon his co-workers. um, yeah, that's really hitting me hard just saying it out loud, right? It's hitting me hard just saying it out loud right now. And so much recently, healing is my thing, but healing from trauma, this to me is just such a message. We have to heal from our trauma or else it festers and then pops and I think that May is mental health month, and we're just finishing up May. Also, there was some crazy, I know not everybody who comes to the Heal the Hate call is into astrology or whatever, but there was not only a full moon, but a full moon lunar eclipse, and it was called a full blood moon. I mean, like so many things, like, how many degrees of intense um, that we're supposed to endure, I don't know. But I'm how poignant it is that people need to be communicating. I was reading some article or something about the man, some quotes that the media had scurried up from his ex-wife, who said, yeah, he would often come home and rage. She hasn't even seen him for 12 years. She divorced him, hasn't seen him for 12 years. But this guy has a history of being sort of aggro. I'm just paraphrasing. He has a history of being sort of aggro. Plus he's like going out and buying guns. He stockpiled all these guns and blew up his house. So he created havoc in the neighborhood where he lived for the neighbors. Even in my neighborhood, where I'm not far from where he lived, and definitely very close to where he decided to go take a bunch of people out. But I don't know. I'm just rambling on because it's so disturbing, and to me that's what the Heal the Hate is about. You gotta, the quote from the ex-wife. Excuse me, I'm jumping around because it's just disturbing. The quote from the ex-wife that struck me was that he would come home all the time. She hasn't even seen him for 12 years, right? But he would come home all the time and rage about his of being that everybody was out to get him or that he was slighted somehow. So he's been festering for a long time. So
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but all I can say is I just feel mental health is going to be so up with all of this quarantine stuff. There's so many shootings coming around, and and I mean, not that in the San Jose area, this is the second one in just a couple years. A couple years ago, we had a shooting at the Gilroy Garlic Festival where a 19-year-old went freaking ballistic with guns and just started taking musicians and patrons of the Garlic Festival out. So I don't know. I wasn't raised with guns. Um, I
Yeah.
don't think guns is not the problem. You know what the problem is? The problem is mental health and people communicating and figuring out a way to decompress and everything. It's yeah, guns is
And
not the
and
people.
so many people in fear, and so many people in fear and hurt.
Yeah, on all sides, right? Um,
Yeah.
when if we dissect that story that I was so upset about the ex-wife, there's domestic violence embedded in that story. There's this guy's mental health and the mental health of all of his family members. I don't know what was going on with him that he would think that it would be necessary to stockpile guns in his home. That is just bizarre behavior to me. I can't even understand it. Even if a person is saying that they're going to protect themselves, I can't understand. I just have no reference for behavior like that. And I just feel so much sadness and so much worry for everybody's mental health,
Yeah.
for the little kids that are listening to that story on the news and they live in San Jose or in my neighborhood and experience that smell and that fear, and they told us don't go down by First Street because there's something going on. They blocked off all the plus where I live. I'm ranting now myself, but I live there's helicopters all the time. All of a sudden I feel like I live in a there's helicopters all the time. So I'm sensitive, and that noise and at night and everything, like being in a war zone, probably some weird past life memories coming up. But it, but if I'm feeling this, other people around me in this area are feeling this, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that I don't know what action to take in my neighborhood or what to do other than, continuing to take care of myself and my own mental health and heal my family and my little dog, Dr. Beth, and just try to be of service whenever the universe calls upon me. But it's pretty disturbing. Anyway, so there's my
There,
piece.
is there anything that you can think of that Melanie and Dad and I could do for you to help you through this?
Gosh, it really just feels good to be able to say that out loud in the presence of someone else, that's not in my neighborhood or, yeah, I can, it feels good just to be able to communicate that, you know, um, San Jose needs prayers. I am not, I can't generate a big enough energy or force field to do any healing around this, Dr. Beth. All I can do is, keep doing what I'm doing. It's just all very disturbing to me. I feel
Well,
very helpless.
can I give you an invitation? Can I give you an
Sure, I would
idea?
love that, Dr. Beth. That's why I come, so that I can get Dr. Beth.
Well,
Right?
well, one of my ideas is to tell your little baby 3-year-old self, and especially your super 7-year-old self, that it is not your job to protect all of San Jose, nor to protect all of the world. In this moment, just protect your heart, just protect your little inner emotional beings, and just protect your tiny space that feels that you can fill up with your energy.
Mm. Yeah, I love that, Dr. Beth. I feel so much pressure in my body right here at the and I feel almost a clasping, like like my
Yeah.
all of this constraint. Yeah, my voice isn't flowing. I feel constricted, and I feel that terror in my body. Thank you for pointing it out. I definitely feel it. So I'm absolutely willing to breathe through it and release it.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
and also, what tools do you have in your repertoire to help you with this trauma? Not to help San Jose, just
right.
your little precious soul in this moment.
Well, Dr. Beth, the one thing that I can say is I've been really breathing and being here with you and sharing. There's a little internet drama today. AT&T was down, so I didn't think I was going to be able to make the call today. Um, so a little bit of drama, but breathing, breathing, and asking myself, do I want to show up to Dr. Beth's call today? And the answer was yes. And miraculously, the internet connections all came clear just in time for me to be here. So I
I, I'm
my takeaway there is when I'm in a calm and flowing state, then it's in a calm and flowing state around me.
yeah. Well, a couple of just reflections back to you. One is sound healing, using your bowls, using your music, using the chords that you need. Another thing is using your Reiki energy.
Oh, definitely doing that, Dr. Beth. Yeah, breath work and sound healing for me. I actually had an opportunity to do a little some singing today, and had a studio session with a friend. So I got to sing today, and that really, really, really helps.
And if I don't know if it would make any help at all, but you're welcome to go stay in my house.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Beth. That's such a that's so very sweet. I don't think I need to run away from home. I do kind of need to stay. I'm grounded here until my little dog is up and working again. Hey, what I want to share, we got great news. Like, actually, I had this quiet moment where internet wasn't working, and and it was lonely in San Jose, and I was not feeling good. And all of a sudden I remembered, oh, the universe is doing this for me, not against me, right? It's showing me something, not conspiring against me. I don't have to be
For
all,
me not to, for me not
yeah.
to.
So thank you. And I went out back for a few moments to just chill and breathe, like I said, for a moment. And my little dog did take some steps around the yard, so I got to be present to that. And like really like let that be a miracle instead of another checkbox that I was checking off. Like I had
That is so
I had the
exciting. That is
space. Yeah, I
her
had
little dog has
to
been
really.
completely paralyzed, her back legs, and took a couple of steps this week. So that is a
That's
miracle.
Well, just today,
amazing.
yeah, just today.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so
she's
happy.
been
How
paralyzed now
long?
3 weeks. She's recovering from spinal surgery. They gave her about a 50-50 chance. And we opted to go with the spinal surgery, and they gave her about a 50-50 chance to recover. And I'm super proud to say that she's gonna make sure that she gets the winning end of that one.
I love
That's
it.
amazing.
Yeah. So thank you for letting me share.
All right. Well, we'll come back around again when more people come on. I have several people that have said, I'll get there as soon as I'm off my client, blah, blah, blah. So, Melanie, how about you? How are you being impacted by the world's events? Anything coming up for you right now in the Heal the Hate world?
Um, I've been listening to different podcasts and different points of view on everything going on in the world. And I mean, I don't know how to feel. Oh, what happened?
That's Beth's dog is attacking somebody or something, or I'm not sure what.
Oh,
He's just
attacking?
happy to hear about Twinkie, right?
Oh no, I hope he's not, because she looked like it was something bad. The
Well,
look on her face was
her dog is big. You all seen it?
I have a huge big screen TV, and whenever there's a dog or something, he jumps up on the.
oh my God.
I'm trying to keep him from losing it. Right now he's watching. Let me see. Well, anyway, right now he's watching the TV. So, I may have to just turn it off. Sorry about that, Melanie. So
It's
say
okay.
what you were, and I completely lost my thought.
I feel exhausted because I think, you know, I try and I'm more spiritual than anything. And so I do a lot of this inner work and I'm like on this inner journey. So it's a lot of like breath work and meditation and trying to get to this state. And then also learning to navigate when I do have to go out into the world, because there's so many different personalities and points of view and all of this. And so with everything going on in the world and trying to like have these conversations with people about different events and just how, the craziness, I don't know. I just feel tired. Like I know that I feel like, of course, in my point of view, there's a way to fix it all, but I also see how it sounds so woo woo, what people would call woo woo, but it's like, okay, love, compassion, like going within, doing some inner work, learning to, you know, to be able to breathe through emotions, learning to respond instead of react to life, like these tools that are there, and people are, you know, they're ignoring them because that would be too hard. It's easier to take a pill or just escape, or and they don't deal with these emotions, and then they just all like start bubbling up and explode, and people are just angry and upset, and the world is just crazy right now.
And
and
and Melanie
it's
and
so hard.
Melanie and Melanie, how do you get impacted by that? How can you ground in that? How can you heal in that space and not feel like it's happening to you, but for you and for all of us?
I don't feel like it's happening to me, and a lot of the times I feel like I'm you know, I hear about it, but I separate myself from it because I have the compassion and I try not to pick a side, and a lot of people, I can tell that it doesn't sit right with them, because sometimes I don't pick a side because I can understand and have compassion for both sides, and I'm learning to do that. But I'm also feeling like, you know, if we could stop all the hate and start listening to each other, maybe a conversation could start and things could go different. But I also, like I said, it doesn't affect me unless I'm like talking about it. Like right now, it's like I know the solution and I know we can get there. I'm just waiting. I'm just watching and I'm staying hopeful because I can see people changing. I can see more people doing that inner work. I can, right now, we're still we're not there yet, but it's moving towards that. So I don't know that it affects me in a bad way. And so sometimes I feel like I don't know how to speak on this because I don't feel stressed out by it a lot of the times. Does it stress me out once in a while? Yes. Was I stressed out at the beginning of COVID? Yes. But then I started realizing where it was coming from, the fear and trying to let go of some of that. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that I'm never stressed out. But I think I navigate through this well because I'm using these tools, or I'll catch myself and I'll be like, okay, have compassion, try not to have judgment. I mean, I'm not saying I don't have judgment ever, but I catch myself.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like you're
it's
living, it sounds like you're living in presence.
I'm
And
trying. Yes,
yeah.
I'm trying my best, and I it's hard work. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm never upset, because I can get on a call and I could be in one of my moments. Like I had a moment had a moment with my daughter because I've talked to her about cleaning, and like these are just little things, and it's like, and I got so upset and I was yelling, and I've been working on not yelling.
Yeah.
And then I you start beating yourself up. Oh, you messed up. You yelled. And then I had to remember your words and like and other tools that I've learned. And it's like, it's okay, you know, it's okay to make mistakes. Nobody's wrong, not even me. Like all of these things were coming through my head. And so once it
And
takes a second
also
sometimes.
and also
Go
to
on.
have and also to ask for a do-over and reclaim who you want to be and own what happened without saying, I'm sorry it happened, which, because a lot of times when we say, I'm sorry it happened, then the assumption is now get over it, versus that's not who I want to be as a mom. And let me tell you who I want to be. Do you want to tell me anything about how that impacted you? Do you have anything else you want to say? Because I'd really like to have a do-over.
Okay, yeah, I did that in a way, but I need to call it. I like the idea of saying let's have a do-over, because I did, and and I felt better. But like, it's so funny because now, like it was a day, because it kind of happened at night, and then I had to go to work, and so by the time I got home is when I was able to, like, okay, let's talk about this. And it's so funny because it impacted my day. So like I said, it's like it's learning, it's a learning experience. So it impacts me by helping me grow. That's how this impacts me, because I look at all this stuff and then I'm like, what am I feeling right now? What am I attaching to? What is this? And trying to figure out where I'm at with it, and being okay with the fact that right now I don't have control over everybody else. I just have control over me and how I respond to life. And it takes a second to get there, but
Well, and I think compassion for when you're not there. So much love and compassion when you're not there. And that also is learning for your daughter. So as you blow it, fall in it, step in it, face plant, and you show her how to get up with grace and ease and accountability and owning your own stuff without projecting and keeping that on your daughter's head, that's an incredible gift, to not only get that I'm not all the crap that my mom puts on me, but I'm also learning how to not do that to other people, that you're teaching your daughter how to not do that to other people. So thanks for sharing all that, Melanie, and we can keep going. We'll come back around again. Dad, how are you feeling with what's coming up in the world and where Heal the Hate is applying to you right now?
Well, I've watched some of the political fallout today, and real disappointed that the Republicans and Democrats could not get together on the desire to examine what happened on January the 6th. And it makes it real convenient to say this group's okay and this group's not. And then I hear us saying, some of us, that we got to be able to see both sides. And I work at that, but boy, that is hard. That is really tough. Particularly when you believe and you're convinced that X is right and Y is wrong. So to be able to see X and Y as two groups that have a right to their opinion, their feelings, their ideas, their decisions, is tough. It's really tough. It's a form of conflict resolution that's rough.
And it especially I can really link that one as well. That one has shown up for me a lot this week. And I watched the movie Bliss. Has anybody seen that? Have you seen it, Erica? It's a movie. It's 2021, and it's basically about drugs and alcohol and all of that. But the interesting thing, when the guy goes into the drug trips, he's experiencing past lives and incredible experience, which, like a brain box, where when you live in bliss, you have to you forget how great, you forget gratitude. And so one of the advantages of this brain box is when you plug into the brain box, you can go back to wars and problems and challenges. And then when you come out of the brain box, you come back to bliss, and you're happier with where you are then. And throughout the whole movie, you're not sure what's real and what's not real. You're like really in his mind. So I was kind of having a joint experience with that. um, one of the things that he says in the movie is "what a pickle." And then right after the movie, I was talking to Alice, and Alice said, "What a pickle," and I'm like, "Doo doo 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 doo," and that's kind of the it happened 3 or 4 times in the movie, and it's kind of a weird statement to hear it come out of anybody's mouth anyway. So I guess for me, it has been, how do I keep my heart wide open? Um, I've been thinking a lot about you, Ariel, and sending you a lot of love, being in your space, and just, the terror that so many people are feeling with guns right now. It's not just the people that, as you had said, Ariel, it's not just the people that got shot, but their families and everybody that's in the neighborhood and everybody that's watched the news of everybody that's in the neighborhood. And every time you hear a gunshot or a firework or anything, it's like all of us are like, and then today they canceled the Black Lives Matters Tulsa celebration because there's a bunch of domestic violence, uh, high threat right now. So I guess, and one of the ways I've experienced it this week is with a lot of my a lot of my clients, and it's been fascinating to see the parents have a parallel process with their kids. So the kids are a jerk, and then the parent is a double jerk to the kids, and like, I quit being a mom, I'm done being a mom. And it's kind of like the kids saying, I quit and I'm going to kill myself. And then when neither one of the child or the parent is willing to keep working with me, it gets really scary. And so then I have to tell myself, okay, stay out of fear, trust that there's something bigger than me, hold space and love. It's just as important for the mom to get to rebel against me as it is for the child to get to rebel against the mom. And so that's kind of where I've been with it. It's like it's a matrix of San Jose and Black Lives Matter and movies and Red versus Blue and the anti-Semitic and the Israel Palestine insanity and the Russia, there's a lot to be in terror about right now. And how to, one of the places I've been dancing and playing is how to stand on the center of the hurricane or the center of the tornado or the dance on the head of the pin and be in the world but not of it, be in my space of breathing. And I've found a lot of time this last couple of weeks that I'm just sitting perfectly still in complete bliss. And I was on a call with a meditation, and one of the things that the person asked was, are you feeling well used? Are you feeling well used? And I feel like I've got more. Like I am not, there's like, am I fully using my body? Am I fully using the money that's in the bank? Am I fully using my network? Am I fully using my friend network? Am I fully using my gifts, my talents, my energy, my voice, and do I feel well used? So I've been playing with that and how I can keep finding places that I can show up in the world and without feeling like I'm pushing myself. Like if it's not my joy, it's not my job. And if it feels like I should, or if it feels like I'm making a decision out of fear, it's not mine. So I've just been kind of really playing in this lucid dream state with myself. How about you, Erica? You want to say where you have been with the world and where Heal the Hate has come up in your world?
Sure. Where was there a shooting in San Jose today? There
It
was.
was, it was yesterday, right, Ariel? I've lost track. Yeah, 10 people were killed and or 9 for sure. I've heard 9 and I've heard
I will watch Bliss tonight with my friend Herb. And I have a lot to say, so you might want to put a timer on just so I don't not respect everybody's time. But I really appreciated when there was some pushback from what Melanie Taylor Greene said, like there was a bringing her to task or to do, there was people calling out on her to stop or to, to denounce. And the
anti-Semitic, if you guys don't know about it, she said that the wearing of the masks is the same as the Holocaust, wearing of the yellow star.
Something like that. And the Republican speakers of the House, the majority and the minority, whatever they took 5 days to take a response about it. Whereas there's like I think they've taken away a lot of her they've taken her committees away, is what I understand. Yeah. And then like I see the conversation going on in the different chats, like, so how about her dollars? Like, are we taking away her dollars to be able to, like, how is she still in Congress, I felt when I listened to that on NPR, I was driving around doing stuff and I just felt so much anger that this person saying a lot of ignorant things. So it's not the first time I felt anger about or at them for what they said or did, like taking down something that somebody put up by her office that was for trans support. And so that's my reaction about the latest of that. I didn't know about San Jose, but gosh, San Jose is close to me. People, a chapter, and I said something that was sort of like not my finest moment back on Wednesday. And I said something that is like, I can't take it back what I said, but I feel it strongly, like the way we are operating as a group of people focused on this thing is not serving the whole. And so I said something to this person in front of other people. You're acting as if you're in the old boys club and this isn't working. You've been in this role or this position for 5 years. And, how is this serving this group of people? And then basically the meeting ended very quickly after that, because they did one of these, is this meeting over? And then the meeting was over. And then I had a chance to talk with somebody who's like a human resources expert. And so she's like, yeah, you really messed that one up. And she said to me, you need to be in control. Me, Erica Gimbel. And I said it back to her. I said, you think I need to be in control? That's what you think I need to do. And then this word control has been coming up a couple of times, just like, your pickle. I've been using that word. You're really in a pickle. I've been using that expression. You're really in a pickle. You're in a perfect stuck place is a very Gestalt thing to say, like this perfect stuck place. And you're throwing it back into the person's laps for them to tussle with it. Cause like I, as the therapist, I'm not going to get them out of the stuck place. I'm just noticing and holding the space. Like I am so not in control I'm clear. I'm not in control. Like people in my group are coming in, going out, people are taking breaks, people are doing this, people are doing that. And I'm the president. I'm trying to find who's the next president to hand the baton off to them. And then they can find the next group of people. So all that to say, I really, really would love to take Marjorie Taylor Greene down. Like that's my, like the anger. Like I would love to I know people really felt that way about Trump. They really wanted to take Trump down. And this rising anger in me that I'm not very proud of or happy about was like, I really want her to go down. I don't feel peace and love towards her. Like, I've heard you say about, peace and love, like I put her in light and all that, and I'm in a class with you too, where we meditate. Right. And so and all this energy that's going on with the eclipse and the solar and all that, and watching the moon, and things are getting shaken up all over the place. And so I'm practicing stepping in, stepping out, and holding space, loving people where I can love my people. And yeah, I just feel like I'm doing the best I can. I have somebody I'm working with who's really like going back and forth into psychosis. It's a very strong thing. And she thinks any second she's going to be incarcerated. And I'm like, based on results, you haven't been incarcerated. Based on like her pickle is very different from everybody else's pickle. So I just, it's a very vulnerable time. And I think that is a lot of different things I just said. So sorry, it's a little messy, but I'm going to go back to my dishes unless somebody is not okay with that.
Well, I have an idea for you. Would you like it?
Yes.
Um,
and is it
when-
related to
when-
strawberries?
when you're feeling this rage and anger towards Marjorie, and do you ever give yourself permission to just really vent it, not on
Oh.
somebody else's head, but like hold yourself at the 60,000 foot and at the young foot,
Yeah.
where at the 60,000 foot, do you see yourself as one? Do you see yourself as connected to all?
Yeah. And it's interesting because like, this person in this group, smaller group of people, she was being mean to another person and to me about her frustration. I feel like it's showing up this like meanness quality, the mean quality. And I actually, because I'm the president, I can do shit like, let's all take a moment to notice the sixth agreement we have is to treat everyone with kindness and respect. Let's all take a moment to remember that ethical guideline we have here. And then I could come around and go, that didn't feel kind when you called me, blasting me. I felt blasted by your anger right there. Like, we don't know what's going on for that person. Everybody's doing their choices and coping in these different ways. Like, this is a collective trauma we're going through. And we don't know what it is for different people. We don't know. We just know what it is for ourselves. We could only say what it is for ourselves. And let's not assume anything. That's what it's happening.
And my experience is being on both sides of the coin with myself and with everyone. One minute I'm feeling the hurt, the next minute I'm feeling the rage. Another time I'm feeling somebody else's rage, the next minute I'm feeling their hurt. And to create more and more and more spaciousness for my own hurt and rage, and to create more and more and more spaciousness and love for other people's hurt and rage, it feels like my heart is just expanding and expanding and expanding, almost to the place where, I mean, it's just an incredible orgasmic loving bundle of love. It's interesting, in the face of all this hurt and rage and crap everywhere, as I find it in me, as I love it in me, as I find it in them, as I love it in them. I mean, I can just see it over and over again. One person does something to some, and that person does that, and that one, like the intergenerational pattern of this one hurts this one, and they get hurt, hurts that one, and then they get hurt, and then on the story goes.
My lineage, my healing lineage, I said this in a letter to my membership committee where we're having this moment, is like, I come from this lineage where all things are fixable, and let's heal this and move through this, as opposed to be stuck to, and just like they're pointing fingers and who's wrong, who didn't do what. It's like, how do we clear the decks? And again, I'm saying this from my place of privilege, white girl, Jew, New Yorker, California privilege. Though I'm Jewish, there's stuff about that, right? But I'm privileged, so I can say that in this wackadoodle place, like So it's very complicated, so that's why this is great to practice with everybody here. It's like the practicing of our awareness and wokeness, or whatever the hell that is.
Well, let's go around. Let's go around again. And Ariel, you take a turn, and then Melanie, and we'll go around again. So whatever you want to say from the beginning, or whatever you want to say from what may have come up from what anybody else has said.
As
Oh.
far as the anger about the racist lady, that's just ignorant, stupid. It's not even worth it to get angry about that. That's just plain ignorance.
So what is
Yeah,
what
I
is
don't have
what is
I don't
still
have
there for
anything.
you? What is still there for you in the space of healing your hate, or healing whatever hate you're seeing that we can be a part of healing?
Well, I'm gonna take it right back around to self-love and self-care, Dr. Beth. Obviously, people that are stockpiling guns and raging and wanting to go take out their coworkers need self-care and some sort of self-love or self-cope, some sort of mechanism to assist themselves with that state. So I'm just going to say a big prayer for all sentient beings, and yeah, and go quietly practice all my woo-woo stuff, as Melanie calls it. So it's
Yeah,
yeah. I the more I see all of this stuff unfold, the more the woo-woo stuff is the only stuff that makes sense to me. So
exactly.
uh, I've been doing my work like this for 30 years, and I'm not going to stop now. Although, I've gotten super pissed off. I was super pissed off that a vet told me my dog was fat, and that's how come she wasn't feeling well. And I'm super pissed off that the second vet at the emergency clinic told me she might have back pain and gave me a prescription. And then somebody finally said, "Oh my God, now that I bring her in and she's paralyzed." I'm super pissed that people make mistakes, but people make mistakes. You can get pissed, but don't, not shoot people. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Yeah. I want to. I want to give permission to free range of emotion, right? So that can, be expressed and everything. But there's
Feel the
a
feel the
certain responsibility of every person to be, not harming others in their space. So, I don't know, Dr.
feel those feelings and name them out. Name them out so you don't act out. That's one of my
Yeah,
songs.
don't go postal. Like that's a rule, isn't it?
Yep.
I mean, we've all
Yep.
been super pissed, right? But we don't blow up our houses and kill our neighbors. I don't know.
And having, it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to feel loved when you say it. Like for us to hold you, Ariel, in your pain, and us to hold you, Erica, in your pain, and us to hold, each other in this when we are in pain, and for each and every one of us to learn that self-sovereignty, where I am able to hold myself and talk myself off the ledge when I don't have somebody around me to hold me in that space.
Yeah.
What about you, Melanie? What would you like to say on
Yeah.
this? Any reflection?
Well, yeah, I mean, I know I said that I use all these tools, but like even like right now, I feel heavy. And I think that's what it does to me. I get this heaviness and then I just have to figure out where it's coming from, because it is so much to take on. And like when we talk about the people who are doing these things, I mean, I know it's not the popular response, but I wonder what happened to you in your life to make you think that this was the only option. And how sad is that? Like I obviously like have, the presence of mind or whatever you would call it, to like go, okay, I'm upset today, but you're right. I'm not going to go shoot up my workplace or shoot up somewhere. But this person didn't have that. And what caused them to be that way? And that's why I say I have this. It's not that I'm like, I'm okay with both sides. It's that I get that something had to happen. Something really bad had to happen to make that person like that. And that makes me sad. And that makes me sad that the world like is in that state. I'm like, I have the hopefulness too, because I see more people, you know, doing some inner work or getting, you know, knowing that it's like important to, nature is important. Let's stop like taking out nature and building buildings. And like, there's all these, it's slow, but I mean, I guess it's to find the small, like the silver lining, I guess. Is that another woo-woo thing to say? But I mean, that's the only way to get through it. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable and unhappy and angry at people constantly, because people are constantly doing things that I'm like, what in the heck? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
I just feel a heaviness when we talk about this, but it's important that I also recognize that and try and figure out, like, what does that mean? Does it mean I'm not doing enough? Is there something it's there. It's like right here. I can feel it. I don't know.
And
so much.
Whatever needs to go, go. Whatever needs to come and be received, receive. And whatever needs to go, go. And whatever needs to come and be received, be received. You know, it's kind of like with deer. They shake it out in the woods when they get traumatized. They literally, when a deer gets hit.
Yes, I've heard that.
like they literally shake it off. And I've been doing that some this week. Like when I feel a heaviness, I'm literally like running in place and doing something to create some movement to get it out of my energy and get it out of my energy field, and use all the tools that we have. And there's so many thousands of tools. Yep. Sound healing, the bowls, the massage, the visualization, the meditation. What about you, Dad? What's your take on you? And what my question was, you can come back and say whatever you want to say or react to anybody you want to react to. What's coming up for you?
Well, I heard Melody say something about understanding, and that's what I try to do when I find myself in opposition. I was thinking about this the other day on the highway, where I can easily be met with anger. I can go into mental road rage. I've never pulled a gun or tried to run a guy down. One time I did try to run a guy. I have to tell you this story. This is so good. I was on my way to the airport, and you know the story, Beth?
I tell me again. I think I have.
Anyway, I was on my way to the airport. I was going on a trip and going along. My wife was with me, and things were calm. And all of a sudden, this road that I was on merged with another road, and this guy went in front of me so fast and just cut me off right there in front. Just scared the daylights out of me. And he was driving a Jaguar, and that made it worse. I don't know why, but it did. And so he took off, and I just took off right behind him. My wife said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I don't know." But I knew that I was upset, and I wanted to let him know in some way, form, or fashion that I was upset. And he turned, he ran around this way, and I followed him, and we hit a interstate going. We had a break in the interstate. He went to the left, and I went to the left, and we were on our way on Interstate 40, and all of a sudden we come to the airport exit, and he takes it, and that's where I was going. So I take it, and I'm still behind him. And he gets all the way to the place to get out of your car. And I pull up my car right behind him to get out of my car. And I got out and just put my hands on my hip and just stared at him, just stared. And he looked back at me rather flippantly, didn't stare, but he knew that I was there. So the long and short, he went on in, life goes on. But about a year later, I was talking to a company about doing some work with them.
Oh,
And
no.
all their executives entered the room to interview me.
Oh,
And
oh,
here
no.
comes the Jaguar owner. He walks in and I couldn't let it go. I could not let it go. And I'm sitting there and we'll call him Charlie. I think it was his name. And I said, Charlie, I've got to bring this out in the open. Do you remember me? He said, no, he's lying. I know he's lying. He said, no, I don't remember you. And I said, at the airport, do you remember me? No, no. Well, he just kept wouldn't admit it. I said, I chased you down one time and we stared at each other, had a shootout at the airport. He said, well, I don't remember. I don't remember it. I know he remembered it. But I thought I had lost that contract as a result of that little escapade. And that taught me a major lesson that I could look at anger on a highway with understanding. That'll go. That's good. I can try to figure out what's going on. I can ignore it. But one thing I don't do well, and I wouldn't recommend for me anymore in the future, is try to get involved.
Chase the dude down. Not a good plan.
It didn't turn out good for me. So, but I heard Melody say a while ago that she uses understanding, and that's my favorite on highway anger. I try to figure out, why is that guy going so, why did he cut me off? You think he had a problem? I try to play with that, and it kind of takes away the sting or the personal involvement that I often would own for my own.
I've heard so many stories of people having road rage and different examples of what they've done. Like I was on my way to, have a surgery, and I was so upset, and somebody did this and da 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 da, or I couldn't get home because so and so was dying, or just all the different things that happen. And so anytime anybody does any of that to me, I just like, go ahead. It that helps me to make up some catastrophic story in my head that they're going through, and I am able to back up and send them love, send them love. So that's been one of the ways that I've played with that one too. Well, you guys, what do you think? Is there anything that we need to give each other, or anything that anyone takes anything away with what they can give to themselves? It seems like right now, to think about what we can do for the world feels so out of our scope. Like, Erica, you're crazy. It's like, it feels like if we're trying to fix others or heal others or do stuff for others in this state and in this space, it just feels like a mirror in my face to me. Anybody else have any reflections or thoughts for yourself? Like Erica, with your BNI group and your reflection of Marjorie Green, what do you do with that? With your own feelings of rage, which is what Marjorie Green also feels, is rage, which is why she, so fearful and pointing guns at everybody. She's taken your rage and one upped you tenfold. She's taken your fear and one upped you tenfold. She really thinks that those guns are going to protect her and save her. What do you do with that for you personally? And what do you need from us?
I don't think I need anything from you guys. Just it's great to hear the stories and the processing that's going on. Like you, I don't know if yeah. And then I mean, like I realize about myself that I had some reactions in that meeting on Wednesday. It was not my finest moment, and I wrote them about that, and I sent over apologies. Haven't talked to the two people that I feel like I had some friction with, other than in that meeting. And then the meeting ended very abruptly because I was bad girl, and bad girl. So I don't know if I can answer your question, but I'm thinking about like the
Okay.
peace that we find, the peace that we can find daily with our people, the people we serve, um
I just have so much compassion for your bad girl and
yeah, like
reflection.
everything fell out of my mouth felt really true to me, and it still feels true to me. And like this thing of like the energy in the field that we're feeling, of these energies of hate and revenge, and like we all want the same things. We all want people to be well and live well and thrive and do well, and we
and
want
all,
people.
and all of our righteousness and sense of superiority, that I have the answer if you just listen to me. That's the energy that's in the field. I'm right, I'm red, I'm right, I'm blue, I'm right, I'm whatever. There's a sense of righteousness that crushes each other.
Yeah, yeah. So there were some other things I wanted to say, but I kind of got distracted by what you're
Sorry.
saying. So I was thinking about some movie, not The Sound of Metal, but that was a good one, right? But this other movie, like The Sound of Metal, what was so good about The Sound of Metal was this person came into this world that he knew nothing about, and had to like watch his mind go through this crazy making experience that had him transition to this deaf world, and it's like we're all these walking, talking minds, and the mind, the words that are coming out of one person's mouth, it's just amazing how people think what they think. And for a Black man to think that another Black man is not right because who they voted for, or like can't we all just like listening and be finding the space within ourselves to hear, this Black man, he said he doesn't like Black Lives Matter because of course he's like, I'm a king and my wife's a queen, and like that's his thinking. He might have voted for Trump also, and this idea of like he wanted to have like a White Lives Matter, and I'm like, well, and that really triggered the fuck out of this other Black man, and just like, wow, okay, well, how do we get together, and how do we find our points of connection? How do we do this thing? Diversity, inclusion, what's the other thing? Equality. How do we do this thing? Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Oh yes, I remember the thread. Sorry, I went off, and then so I've been really appreciating, they've been talking about movies from years and decades ago, and how do we look at them now, like the John Hughes movies, or the like movies that then we tolerated them or we love them, Pretty in Pink, all the Rat Pack movies. The movie, the guy is in blackface, Soul Man. Like, what do people think about that now? They're just like, ugh, or Gone with the Wind, ugh, all these movies that I have this fantasy about. I formed myself as a teenager going into young adulthood about love and romance by some of these movies. And now it's just like, it was like completely. And then I've been appreciating the news, like the Tulsa, Oklahoma history that had come out, where like 300 people were killed. And the history just completely silenced that. And I mean, I'm so glad that they're protecting people by not having the march this weekend. And, you know, because of course we don't want more killings, but you know, wow, what a beautiful thing to bring this to light, the history of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and what was going on there, and the, you know, segregation, separation, inclusion. What is that called? Oh, coming back together. What was that called? When we are
Integration.
Like, we lived through times, I lived through times when history was a version of history. And now these other versions are coming through. And isn't that amazing that we can be seeing history? I hate history. I always was bad in history, but I appreciate history more with these levels and layers of what's going on. So, you know, now when I sit with a new client and I say, I'm a white girl, I'm going to be supporting you today as a whatever Black woman. And I realize that there's these limitations to how I can be with you, and let's talk about it. Let's be with each other. And then I could feel her getting with me, being willing to find out about if she could trust me, you know, and putting out into words what I hope, you know, now it's more explicit.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know if any of you all heard what the Tulsa, Oklahoma
Yes.
stories that came to light. Like, that was fascinating. And like, I also had more respect for Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's like, it was the Berlin, Germany. Now don't get mad at me if I say a stupid thing, but like, it was like the Berlin, Germany for Jews, and how they excelled in Berlin for, you know, the African Americans in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They were at the height of their experience there. And there was space for people. And then something like that, what was it, a burning or a shooting, or it was covered up, and then it was like, it was not 12 million people, but it was 300 people. That's crazy.
An entire city was burned down. Blocks, I think 6 to 9 blocks.
And did you know about this before I heard about this on NPR? Like, how long did you know about this place? Did you hear anything about it? Because I think of you as you've been longest here on the planet, maybe.
Dad, did you know anything
heard
about the Tulsa?
I heard about it a long time ago, and I recall it was presented as something that we don't talk about. Somebody was using it as an illustration of segregation, and how the Black history has been convoluted and discarded. And the speaker, who knows when, where, maybe have been a preacher, I'm not sure where, referred to this incident. And I was amazed to hear it. And then there was a movie on it some time ago, not too long ago.
This author came forward with this book that is come out. Yeah, it's amazing.
It was also in this show recently. I can't even remember the name right now. It's a series, and like they were talking about it, like how they were just flourishing, and then all of a sudden one night they just got taken out, and it was crazy. Yeah.
Ariel, you had your hand up. Did you want to say something?
Or you just
Well, it wasn't about that though. So if it's okay, I just wanted to share, because Erica was talking about her BNI group, and I wanted to share one time I was
sharing about my marketing group. Let's like just erase that what it was like.
Well, regardless of what it was, that's fine. You're the one that was talking about your group on here, but I just wanted to share with you that one time when I was speaking, I invited the audience to give me questions about energy healing. So everybody gave me little slips of paper with little questions on them. And I'm reading them and I'm answering their questions, and it's awesome. and I get one and it triggers the out of me, right? I read it and it's all, is Reiki energy healing like voodoo? And I freaking went crazy, man. I was like, oh my God, no, or, and I, and I did a Seinfeld, I did a, next question. I threw the thing and I kind of lost it a little bit. Not too bad, but it was pretty apparent. Anybody who's known me for 5 seconds knows I got no poker face. And if something goes wrong, you're going to know exactly what's happening if you're standing within arm's distance or whatever. So I got pretty triggered and pretty upset. And I wasn't sure if I was even going to go back to the group because I was so mad. And I'm processing this and I'm processing this. And I went somewhere and I started repeating the story to a friend of mine. And as I was saying the story, all of a sudden I started laughing hysterically, right? And I'm like, why am I so down on voodoo? Right? Right? Like, oh my God, I just got it. Why am I so down on voodoo? Like, what the heck was that about? What the heck was that about, right?
The reaction.
It's just the word. Like, I thought that somehow it was degrading. I have no idea. I just like thought that it was implying something that I was not putting forward. And I wasn't neutral about that question at all. I got really upset about it. But in the telling of the story, I got the other perspective and it made me laugh, right? And honey, I am a white blues singer, and so I really, really get the good old boys club or whatever. I totally understand that, and it didn't always make me the most popular at the blues jams. So just so you know, I just want to send a little solidarity to you there.
Thank you.
That's going on. The old boys club, that's like a real
it's my perception. It's my perception, but this person wrote an email like a kind of, how could this happen? And he said we do things differently in this chapter. We're a close-knit, tight-knit group, and we do things differently in this chapter. And for some reason that triggered the fuck out of me, and I was just like, how fucking stupid are you? We are what we are in this close-knit, old tight-knit group. Oh, that's not really working for us right now, but you sound really dumb. You sound really dumb when you say that. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but you sound so dumb when you say, oh, we're a close. What does that mean? Break it down. What do you really mean by that? What do you mean? Oh, because we just do things differently. We're really about nurturing and caring here. And the rules, it's COVID. We all are freaking going through things, we all need an adjustment disorder. We all need a break, not just the precious realtor who's going to Africa on a safari to find herself. No, we all could use a break, right? Hello? So I'm actually, as the president, I'm going to bring that up at our little leadership meeting. I'm going to say, who else would like a break? Because I would. I am not having fun. And I'm the president. Let's talk about this. It's not just for that one person. So I want to clear the decks. And people will probably have interesting responses about that, but it will just be very like, well, what do we really want to do? It doesn't need to be that exceptional person. It could be everybody can have a break. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I have a question for you, Dad.
I loved all that, by the way.
Sorry, Dad, it's like a little bit of a soliloquy there. Sorry.
You just dance and sing. Go girl. Dad, I'm wondering how that good old boy word feels to you with a room full of women.
Well, it was the context of tradespeople, all the tradespeople in my community. Yeah. Sorry. So what does that mean to you, the old boys club?
The good old boys club. I have worked with so many companies where the good old boys club meant girls were not allowed, or girls were threatened, or girls were minimized in some way, form, or fashion. Salary, position, opportunity, promotion, etc. And it's white superiority, uh, male superiority. That's what it is. So
But does anything
none of it.
does anything come up in you like, I don't want to be, I don't want to be seen as them, or ouch, or I feel like I'm getting put in that bucket? Did any of that come up for you?
No, not really. I more often than not, I'm feeling some level of concern for the women because it's been so apparent for so long. Um, I was reading this morning where Southern Baptists are losing members gradually, year after year after year after year after year. And I think probably the major reason is because Southern Baptists have been a good old boy organization for years, and I grew up in that capacity, in that area. And I think what's happening is it's coming back to roost. People are more educated today. They're not willing to live with that kind of stupidity, and women are having more and more influence, and they're not willing to uh, go for it. So I've never identified with the men so much as I've identified with the women being mistreated.
Yeah.
So, I married a woman that was very smart and capable and competent, and I never felt like, I've always felt like she could hold her own, which she did. And I have a daughter, hello, Beth, that can hold her own. And so I've never felt like uh, any identification with that good old boy group. I just don't, I never felt that. And therefore I didn't feel embarrassed for them because I didn't identify with them. It's a good question though. I might want to think about it. Maybe I didn't, and I'm denying it. I don't know. That's interesting.
Curious, just curious.
Yeah.
Well, so anything anybody else wants to say?
We'll see. I'm gonna have to go.
Well, let's just do this is my takeaway. Everybody do their own takeaway out. Mine is, I'm grateful for a place where we can all show up and hear each other and listen to each other and love each other, and be authentic and real, and not have to have our shit together when we say it, and just get to be exactly where we are in our big feelings. And I also love being with people that own their own stuff and do have the woo woo skills and ability to um, take ownership. It makes me feel safe. Even Erica, when you get into big, huge emotion around rah, and you have a playful rant or a serious rant, I don't feel as afraid of your ranting as I would be afraid of Marjorie Taylor Greene's ranting, because I know you have more abilities to self-reflect and to do it in a respectful way, and that you use this space as a place to heal yourself so that you don't then go take it out on somebody that can't handle it. So anyway, I just feel super grateful to be in a space where each and every one of us gets to have our stuff, and we just get to show up where we are. Who else has a takeaway?
I'll say something. So, yeah, I really have compassion for somebody that thinks that it's a great idea to blow up to first stockpile guns, then blow up their house, get in a car, drive to their place of business, and take out the people that he's been raging about for years and years. If in fact that reflection, Dr. Beth, is supposed to be good for me somehow, I can have compassion for that, because I can't even imagine somebody not having tools enough. It feels bad enough for me just witnessing it from a mile away. You know, the energy impact, I didn't witness it. I don't mean to imply that, but the trauma feels bad enough. And if I've been in a place where I'm so mad I have to take myself out, but never once in my life have I thought, I think I'll go get a gun and kill someone. I don't know where where your head has to be at to think that that's your only choice. So I'm just going to have I'm going to be grateful for the tools that I have, and grateful for your friendship, and for a space to talk about these kinds of things, so that less people go postal on the planet, I guess. I don't know.
And I'm just giving you the biggest hug, the biggest hug, the biggest hug.
Wow, this empath, it's like really no joke being empathic, you know, and even that day I was really aggro all during the day, and I had just gotten my COVID shot, and my mom kept commenting, she's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, I was all like messed up. And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, are you sick from the COVID? Like, maybe, yes. Yes, and are you, you know, are you sick and all agitated because, you know, 10 people just died, you know, within blocks of your house? Yes, and, you know,
Yeah.
all of those things. And, you know, and like I said earlier, I'm also very present to the miracles of healing, and very, very grateful to the tools that I have cultivated, and the friendships that I have. So
I love the spaciousness of that juxtaposition. It's beautiful. Who else?
Let me say, I just following up on that last comment of Ariel's, that whole situation was on television, of course, or at least the following, and it had remarkable impact on so many people. I felt it here in Nashville, thousands of miles away, and felt like, oh, how sad and how unfortunate, and all the ramifications for this guy had a family and the children were affected. So here I am this far away. I can just imagine what it would be like to be down the street, as you said you lived down the street from where this guy lived. Wow, that would have to get inside you in a big way. So that's a biggie. That's my takeaway.
What's your takeaway, Erica?
Well, I just love this conversation and the listening, and I can do my dishes and get my act together and then get something out. I always have dishes to do because I do them by hand. So I hope it doesn't offend anybody that I'm a dishwasher while we do this thing. Now it's like, oh, my kitchen's clean. What do I want to make? Or yeah, there's a lot to say.
Fine with me, Erica.
It's funny. One of you is on silent, and one of you is on silent. It's like, is that the real Beth? Is that the real Beth? You look very nice today, Dr. Beth, with your hair done and your nails done, and you got your makeup on. So just love. That's it. Is it live or Memorex? Yes. So the idea is to love, 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 and that's it. I appreciate the mind connecting chatter. I've been going swimming like 3 or 4 times a week with the swim team, and my body is getting stronger. And today I have a little shameless brag. I swam 100 yards. The first time I did it in 148 seconds. The second time I did it in 143 seconds. So I shaved 5 seconds off my time. And then the third time I did it at 146 seconds. And you know, I don't really care about this, but it was fun to do with all these people. And she was making us get in and out of the pool, and different waves of people were going, and we're all just like, you know, like, just it's amazing that we can do this thing, and we're all different colors and shapes and sizes and abilities, and somebody has no leg and she's doing it. It's like, it was so inspiring to be there with these people and the connecting. It's been a great part of my sanity during since February. I've been swimming with this group since February, and it's like just so sweet. There's a 77-year-old who comes to swim, and she swims in the open water, and she's so inspiring. And then there's like these other, everybody who's like, you know, Olympic quality. And it's just, I'm in lane 7, which means not faster than lane 8 and a little faster than lane 9, but I'm in lane 7. And I one day maybe I'll swim with lane 6. Ooh, but you know, it's like some days I'm not feeling so lane 7. I need to go to lane 8 or lane 9 and hang out with those guys. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Melanie, what's your takeaway, Missy?
My takeaway is I feel blessed to have this group and tools to just process everything and hear different points of view. And yeah, so I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you for letting me be here.
Lots of love all around. Lots of love. Thanks for showing up and being here and caring to heal hate.
Oh, one more thing. So that group, I got to do sign language with them. I said, everybody watch The Sound of Metal and bring a sign. I did the thing. And some people did it, and some people riffed on the whole idea of signs, like looking at the signs and the stars. And so anyway, goodbye. Thank you.